Hi guys, welcome back. We are going over all of my 2025 highly anticipated releases of 2025. I said that wrong, but you get what I'm saying. I spent the morning getting a list together of all of my anticipated releases. I just went through the Goodreads like 2025 release pages and I scrolled down about like 20 pages just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. We are going in order of publication date. I even put them in order. I'm so prepared today. Listen. But I do have quite a bit of a list here and I like to yap, so we're just gonna get right into it. So the first book that comes out January 7th of 2025 is Beg, Borrow, and Steal by Miss Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the When in Rome trilogy, and if you don't know, I freaking loved the first two books. They were so good. So it's When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, and then Beg, Borrow, and Steal is the third one. I am so excited for this. If you don't know, Sarah Adams is a mainly no spice author. I've read multiple books of hers and none of them has had spice. I know the rule book was the one that like had a trigger warning with like the spice in it and it was like its own little separate thing, but other than that she writes closed door romances and I literally love them. I love all of her books. I think the last one that I read from her was The Match and I absolutely ate that book up. I ate that down. Okay, I am a Sarah Adams stan until the day that I die. And I hope you guys understand that. When I say that, I will be eating up this book. Listen, a lot of these, because I am who I am, I don't know what these are about for the most part, unless they're like a continuation of a series that I've already started. No, I don't know who this book is following. I really don't care to know. I just know that I'm gonna love it. Okay, then the next one is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, and that comes out January 14th. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and she became my new favorite thriller author. I haven't read anything else from her, but anything else that she puts out, I know I'm going to love. I have like 2 more books on her shelf. I've just been waiting to get into another like thriller mode like I was in October, something like that, September, October. That is the only reason why I have not read more of her books, but I ate down Rock, Paper, Scissors. It was so good. If you want a winter thriller, this is really just gonna turn into me like a recommendation video. If you want a winter thriller, Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I literally binged that book in like 2 hours. Okay, maybe not 2 hours. I don't know, I binged it in one sitting and it did not take me very long to read at all. Especially don't want to know what Beautiful Ugly is about because it's a thriller. And I feel like thrillers are just meant to go into them without knowing anything. So I'm not going to know anything going into it. That makes sense? Okay, hopefully. Then, of course, January 25th, we have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I have not read Iron Flame yet because I've been waiting to get closer to the publication date of Onyx Storm because everybody was saying how Iron Flame ends up. You want to immediately go into Onyx Storm. So I'm waiting until we get closer to Onyx Storm and then I'm going to reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and then we'll dive right into Onyx Storm. Obviously, I can't tell you what that's about because it's the third book in a continuation fantasy series. If you don't know, if you somehow have missed the chatter about Fourth Wing, Divergent, yeah, think Divergent, but with dragon riders. Then, oh my goodness, Miss Hannah Bonham Young is coming out with Out of the Woods. The only thing that I know is I think it has another pregnancy trope in it, which if you heard that and that immediately made you want to like turn off your brain to everything else that I'm going to say about this book, don't listen. I don't understand the hate for pregnancy tropes, okay, because I actually like pregnancy tropes. Hannah Bonham Young writes pregnancy tropes for people who don't like pregnancy tropes, okay? Just hear me when I say that, okay? This comes out January 28th, and January 28th quite literally cannot come faster. I'm very hurt that I did not get the ARC for this book. I also didn't apply for the ARC for this book, so that would probably be why. But listen. Okay, I don't like this light. The excitement that reverberates through my body whenever I think about this book coming out. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. Okay, then we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which comes out February 4th. Okay. I'm gonna say this. We listen and we don't judge. I have never read an Ali Hazelwood book. No, actually that's not true. I always forget that I've read Bride by her, because I've never read any of like her contemporary romance, whatever. I've only ever read her werewolf romance. That was my introduction to Ali Hazelwood and I loved it. I think I'm just scared to get into her romance books because I don't want to not like them. But I'm super excited for Deep End because I feel like, without hearing what it's about, just seeing the cover, we judge books by their covers over here, okay? Sue me. don't do that, but like, you get what I'm saying. Just simply seeing the cover really makes me want to read it, because it's not like her other romance book covers where they're like a little cringy, but like in a good way, honestly. Like, it's a good kind of cringy, I feel like. Like, it's just like, it's that kind of cringe that like you crave every once in a while. It's like wanting to watch Hallmark movies, you know what I mean? You know it's going to be kind of cringy. You know that you're gonna get, what is it, the galaxy leggings. So you have to, it's like an acquired taste, or like you have to be like in the mood for it. Then we have My Dark Prince, LJ Shen and Parker S. Huntington. If you are new to my channel, or if you are new to my social media at all, they came out with My Dark Romeo and My Dark Desire. Those two books are some of my favorite books ever. There's something about the men in this world that just gives, there's no way that you actually like her with how you treat her. And there's something about that does it for me, honestly. I don't want to go into that, and I don't want to explain it. I don't want to try to rationalize something that I know doesn't make sense. Not my husband sending me a house on Zillow. Okay, I don't think I told you when that comes out. That comes out February 7th. So if you need me on that day, you absolutely don't. Not that bad. We listen and we don't judge. That is the pact that we have here. Because the next book that I have, I got abducted by aliens and now I'm trapped in a rom-com and I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Comes out February 18th. It's by Kimberly Lemming. She wrote the Mead Mishaps series, which I read earlier, a little earlier in this year. They were all 4 stars. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, okay? I don't know what to say other than, listen, not everything you read is going to be a hard-hitting piece of literature, okay? And sometimes you just want to laugh. I'm not gonna explain it further, so stop asking. I really, obviously, I'm assuming in this storyline, she gets abducted by aliens and then gets trapped in a rom-com. How that works, I don't know. I'm excited to find out. That's all that you need to know. I'm sure they'll come out on Kindle Unlimited because the Mead Mishap series was on Kindle Unlimited. And I did listen to the audiobooks. Don't at me. Oh my goodness, the queen is putting out another book. Lucy Score is coming out with a book on March 13th. It's called Story of My Life. I love Lucy Score. She writes middle-aged adults that I have to think of in their high school years because there's no reason for them to act like they're 13 or 14 when they're 40. Other than that, it's one of those, like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And if you don't, it's okay. I happen to get it. You know what I mean? Literally anything that has Lucy Score attached to it, I will read because they're such bingeable, easy books to get through. Like, they're just mindless, fun reads. And that's simply all that it is. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Story of My Life. I'm assuming it's going to be because everything that I've read from Lucy Score has been so unserious. It's actually kind of ridiculous. So that's just kind of the vibe for that one, I'm assuming, and I'm excited about it. Then kind of along the same strain, we have the Strawberry Patch House, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, which comes out on also March 13th. This is the 4th book in the Dream Harbor series, which if you remember the Pumpkin Spice Cafe that was like going crazy this past like October-ish. 3 other books in that series. This is the 4th one that's coming out. Don't need to know what it's about. Don't need to know who it's about. I just know I'm going to be eating it up. Then we have Abby Jimenez. She's coming out with a book April 1st, which is Say You'll Remember Me. I've been hearing about this book for a hot minute. To be so honest with you, I thought it was already out. So I've heard a little bit of chatter about this book, and what I've gotten from it is you have a Greek god of a man. Like, he is just built different, and he's also a vet. They end up having a one-night stand, something like that, and she's like, I don't want this, just like leave it as a one-night stand, and he just can't let it go. Is that right? Is that right? Did I hit the nail on the head? Then we have Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage, which comes out April 15th. And I just, honestly, when you are in the mood for a cowboy kind of like Western romance, Lila Sage is your go-to girl. I read the first 2 books in the, I think it's the, I don't know what it's called. I still have to read through Lost and Lassoed. I've been seeing it at bookstores and I just have not picked it up yet, but I'm going to be picking it up soon whenever I want to read romance again. But I'm very much excited for this to come out because then I'll have 2 books to binge. So maybe I wait to read Lost and Lassoed until Wild and Wrangled comes out, and then I can read both of those together. I just read half the synopsis for this and I simply need it right now. She's a single mom, okay? It's kind of like a runaway groom situation. She was supposed to get married, that didn't end up happening. She moves home. She moves to her home, like childhood home. She rents it, and her neighbor next door. Then we have possibly one of the biggest events happening in 2025, which is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I'm genuinely so excited for this book. I've read one Emily Henry book, and that was Beach Read. I'm going through her list in order of her publication date, because apparently you get all the Easter eggs when you do that. And so I'm in the middle of People We Meet on Vacation. I will be finishing out the rest of her books in between now and April 22nd. And when I tell you I am frothing at the mouth for this book, I'm not lying. I wish I was. The only thing that I know about this book is that it follows two writers who are trying to write a biography of a woman who went missing. So they're on this island and they're writing, like they're competing against each other, I think, to write this biography and to like see who is gonna get the rights for it, I'm assuming. I don't know. I really truly don't need to know. I just know that I'm going to love it because I love Emily Henry. So then we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, which is coming out May 6th. I'm excited for this book. I very much am, but I'm also kind of nervous about it. I read Every Summer After. I absolutely adored that book. The next two books that she wrote, I enjoyed less and less. I think I ended up rating Every Summer After like a 5 stars, and then the next one was a 4 stars, and the next one was a 3 star. I'm really hoping that the trend breaks with this book because I really want to enjoy it. Her books are just so like summery, but they're also they're more emotional than they are like fluffy summer reads, which I don't mind. I do intend to enjoy that. I just am scared, but I'm also very, very excited because I get through her books really quickly, and I do tend to think about them for a little bit after I read them, but I really hope that I end up enjoying it. I really do, because I love her writing style. Some of the plots were not my favorite. This next book, I also want to go into it very much blind, but that is The Love Haters by Catherine Center. This comes out May 20th. I talked about it in my November wrap up, but I read Hello Stranger by Catherine Center, and it was one of my favorites of the month. It's one of my favorites probably of the year. I absolutely love this woman's writing, and I will read whatever it is that she puts out. I want to go through her entire like backlist because I know she's written quite a few books before. No, it wasn't Hello Stranger that I read. It was The Bodyguard. I was wondering why that sounded so weird. I read The Bodyguard by her and I absolutely adored it. So now I want to go through and read everything else that she's written. And The Love Haters is supposed to be like a summary kind of like paradise. This woman is working on this like film set when she loses her job, I think, and it's something to do with that or one. And I feel like it's gonna be the perfect time to read it. I'm very, very much excited about it. Okay, oh, then we have another new to me author this year. That's Annabelle Monaghan. She's coming out with It's a Love Story, and that's coming out on May 27th. And I am simply so excited for this. I read Summer Romance by her. That was a 5-star read, my favorite book of the summer that I had read. As far as I know, she writes no spice or like closed door romances, and I very, very much love that. And I absolutely loved her storytelling. I was almost in tears within the first couple of chapters of her book. Like, that's how much I cared about the story almost immediately after going into it. So getting to read another new release by her is gonna be so fun. She's also another one that I want to go through and read all of the books that she has published prior. I'm not sure how many there are. I know there are quite a few, but I am excited about going through and reading those because she is the love of my life. Dun dun dun! Then we have With a Vengeance by Riley Sager that comes out June 10th. I love me Mr. Riley Sager, okay? I've read like 4 or 5 of his books so far. I've loved every single one of them, with the exception, I think, of like one I didn't very much love, but he is a thriller writer if you have not heard of him before. Again, with thrillers, I don't want to know what they're about before going into them, so I'm going into this very much blind, but With a Vengeance sounds very ominous. Should we guess like what it's going to be about based off of the cover, and then I'll come back? Oh, that's not... It's just a train. Maybe is it going to be kind of like the Murder on the Orient Express type deal where it's like a murder mystery set overnight on a train station? Or is something nefarious going on underneath the train, like in that little like arch area? I don't know, but I don't want to read the synopsis. So we're gonna guess. If you've read the synopsis, you can tell me if I was right or if I'm way off base. Then we have Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, which comes out on July 22nd, which is my birthday month. As far as I know, this follows a girl who like not murdered, but she like somebody tries to, and she ends up like having some health complications, I think, and she has 7 days to live, I believe, and she spends those 7 days like trying to figure out like who hurt her. I very much did not explain that correctly. I think it is actually going to be better than the way that I made it sound, but I am excited for it because it's a very interesting idea for a plot. I feel like you hear about the storylines where like people are getting hunted and like you're trying to look for, or you're trying to figure out who it is before they end up dying, but like she very much does not have that much time to live, I believe, is kind of like what the deal is. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I'm excited about it. I enjoyed the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, so I would like to read those. She also has a couple of other books out. The Reappearance of Rachel Price, I think, is another one, and I do want to read those books too. I just don't own them, so they haven't been like super high on my priority list, but I'm excited to get into it. I want to get into more Holly Jackson books, so I think we'll be in a good spot for July. Then there is no cover for this yet. It's just blank, but Hannah Bonham Young is apparently coming out with another book on October 1st called People Watching. And it's the same spiel that we had from before with Out of the Woods. I just love Hannah Bonham Young. I will read her grocery list. I literally would read whatever she writes. So I'm excited for it. No idea what's going on there. I don't really need to know, don't care to know. Just know I'm excited about it. Okay, and then I'm adding this on this list again without having read anything from the author, but it's The Ballad of Falling Dragons, which comes out October 1st, which is the second book to the When the Moon Hatched series. I'm excited about it because I'm getting ready to start When the Moon Hatched this month. So I have high hopes for it. I'm kind of in the same spot with this one as I was for Heartless Hunter, where like I feel like I'm going to end up enjoying it, especially because I have the audiobook, the Kindle book, and the physical book ready to go. So I feel like I'm going to end up really liking it. So I feel like The Ballad of Fallen Dragons will end up being like something that I very much am excited for it to come out. So I don't know. I just know it has something to do with dragons. I know When the Moon Hatched has something to do with dragons. Other than that, I am very much clueless. I don't know. I'm excited for all of these books to come out. I feel like there was a ton on this list, or it's just really that I could yap. I could yap for a very long time and it would be a-okay with me. But those are all the books that I had on my 2025 highly anticipated list. I always feel bad when I do these because I never know what the books are about whenever I am talking about them. I've read from the author, or I am convinced that I'm going to love it, so I just like it's really like a blind kind of thing, which honestly can be more fun sometimes. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me yap about books that I have no clue about for the most part. I want to know what books are on your highly anticipated reads for 2025, like what that list looks like, and what books do you think I should prioritize? Like that's kind of the question. What books do you think I should prioritize on this list that you think I would enjoy? Because like we said, I have no idea. If you guys want to see my face on any other place on the internet, I'll have all my links in the description as always, you guys to check them out. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next Bookmas video. I love you guys. Bye bye.